Hi, I thought we would talk a little bit about what it means to conduct research and also what it means to find credible outside sources. So, for this assignment, you were asked to find 5 outside sources. And like most people, students usually go directly to the internet in order to find information. But there's a few steps you have to make if you're going to go to Google instead of using our campus resources, such as our library website. So some things you should be aware about are what those suffixes at the ends of websites mean. So for example, .com means it's a commercial site and something's typically for sale. There's going to be ads on that site. Then you'll have .edu, which is an education website for a college or a school. .gov is a government-sponsored website, and .org is usually a nonprofit organization. However, even when you know those things, there's still a few things you have to look at on the web page itself to make sure that it's credible. Every single website has an author behind it, and that author has their own opinions and beliefs. So it's up to you to try to uncover who that author is and if they are an expert in the field that their website's on so that you can quote from it and know that it's going to be something credible and something that can be verified by fact. So let's say, for example, that you have to do a history research paper and you go to Google and you type in Martin Luther King. So our search yields these websites. So the first one is Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not usually cited as a credible website for academic papers because Wikipedia allows users to edit the entries. So that means I can go on to, say, George Bush's website and say that he likes to bake chocolate chip cookies for Obama, and it will stay there until somebody on the Wikipedia website team catches it, makes a citation, and fact checks it. And sometimes those go unnoticed, which makes Wikipedia unreliable. So then if we scroll down the list, we'll see here is a .org. It says Martin Luther King Jr., a true historical examination. So we're going to click on this. And on the right-hand side, we see that there's historical writings, the truth about King, civil rights library. This looks pretty legit. It also has correct spelling and grammar. It's okay. So sometimes a student will just rush into a site without really evaluating it, and they would miss some key facts. For example, on the left-hand side, we see that there's some inappropriate language for an academic site, and also here a link for rap lyrics. Now, maybe they're trying to make a modern connection for King and the audience of this website, but we need to know more about this author. So if you're going to go directly to Google or some other search engine to do your citations and sources, you need to check the website to see who hosted it. So if you scroll to the bottom, you're going to look for words that say something like hosted by or about us. So here at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that it says hosted by Stormfront. So when I click on this, it takes me to who made this web page, and you'll see that this web page was created by the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, which would make you realize you're not probably going to get credible information about a Black civil rights leader when seen through the eyes of a white pride leader. So that's one of the reasons why you really want to make sure that you are using Southwestern College's services to do your research because it cuts out a lot of time for you. So in order to do research from the Southwestern College website, you can do it from your home. You don't have to go to campus. So from the main website on the right-hand side of the screen, there's a tab for library. You want to click on that. And now the library website opens up. Once you click on the library website, you're going to see in the middle of the page, it says articles and databases. This is what you want. When I click on the articles and databases, this screen appears, and you'll see that it's separated by topic. So this first area is general topics. So if you just want to do a broad search range, you can. These are typically the ones I use the most when conducting my own research. But you'll also see there's a tab for news, and as part of your requirements, you are required to use a periodical. So a periodical can be a newspaper or a magazine. This is the place you would find those. There's also subjects on health, art, history, and humanities, science. Basically, there is a database here for any subject that you have to write about and any subject you'd like to know about. Now, the great things about these databases is that our school pays for them. They cost a lot of money. But the reason they're so good is because these typically are peer-reviewed. meaning that experts in the field fact check the information presented, so it takes that step out that you would have to do of figuring out who the author is. So if you're going to use one of these databases, I like to go to Academic Search Premier. It's also called EBSCOhost, and you click on it. And once you click on it, it's going to ask you for some information so that you can access the website from your home. And the screen is going to look like this. And it gives you the directions right here, so just follow the directions and then you will gain access. Once you gain access, the EBSCOhost site opens up, and you can do basic search here. So let's say that you want to do your search on genetically modified corn. You want to make sure you use proper spelling. Now, the most important thing to remember is over here on the left-hand side, you want to click this button that says full text. And the reason for that is sometimes these databases will give you just a little excerpt of an article with the information about where to find it in the library. Save yourself some time and just filter with the full text. The next thing you want to make sure you click is this box right here for peer reviewed. That is going to filter it so that only scholarly journals appear for you to look at. So you want to click peer reviewed. And some other things to note is right here where it says publish date, you can limit your search. So maybe I only want the recent information, so I'm going to put 2015 to 2016 so that I have the most relevant recent research pop up. So then I click search, and the website will pull up a bunch of articles that I can see. It's thinking. Let's try again. Okay, so GMO corn, I need to click full text, and I need to click peer reviewed. And now I've got one article that pops up that is peer reviewed and about the topic that I want. So it says, are everyday foods genetically modified? So the great thing about this database is that if I click on the title, it's going to provide me an abstract. So right here, the abstract is a summary about what the article is about. So instead of having to read all of these pages, I can just read the summary to know if it relates to my topic. If you decide that the article is something you want to read, over here on the left-hand side of the screen, you have the full copy, usually as a PDF. So you can read the article. And over here on the right-hand side, you have some other options. You can print the article, you can email it to yourself, you can save it, and then this button right here is the greatest button in the world. You click where it says Cite, and all you have to do is scroll down until it says MLA, and here is the works cited for this article. You can just copy and paste it into your annotated bibliography or under the works cited page for your research paper. So please, when you are doing research for this assignment, use these online databases. And if you need help, the librarians at Southwestern College are more than happy to help you. And there's actually a button on the Southwestern College website that says chat with the librarian, and you can get live help online so you don't ever have to leave your home office. I hope this was helpful. If you guys have questions or need help with research, please don't hesitate to ask me.